Hello everyone and welcome to the newly renamed Chase's Theater. I really like top 10 lists and I've decided that once a month I'm going to put out a top 10 video. First I'm going by genre in alphabetical order. So to kick things off, we've got the 10 best action movies of all time. Sometimes it's hard to categorize movies, so I decided that each movie is only allowed to be in one category. So if you see that I discluded a movie, it may be because I felt it fell under a different category. I should also mention that there's going to be an adventure, a spy, and a superhero category, so films that I felt fell better under those definitions will not be included in this list. I didn't kill my wife. I don't care. This movie features Harrison Ford on the run from Tommy Lee Jones in an all-out mystery thriller that does not let up the entire way through. I don't want to get too much into the story on this one, just watch the movie, sit back, and enjoy for the ride. It features some awesome chase sequences and some great settings. Keanu Reeves' glorious comeback. This movie is insane. The plot's simple. Bad guys kill a professional hitman's dog and he decides to take revenge on them. You can kind of see where the story goes on that one. This movie has some of the best filmed and most intricate fight scenes I've ever seen, with gunplay, car chases, and fistfights, all featuring Keanu Reeves. It is quite unforgettable. Oh, sorry. I don't have tinnitus. I was just listening to the killer soundtrack that is Baby Drivers. Dang, did this movie blow me away. I just thought about it for weeks after leaving the theater. I had never seen a movie like it. The way the music is paired so perfectly with what's going on in the movie is just jaw-dropping. Like, to see lyrics pop up on the screen while Baby's just kind of walking around the streets is one thing, but to see car chases, shootouts, and bank robberies all play along to the beat of the music is just so captivating. The editing in this film is some of the best we've ever seen, and Edgar Wright is able to play with our brains so much more than he could without the music. It has so much more of an effect on the viewer with the wide selection of music he handpicked and then built the scenes around. There's so much attention to detail in this movie, and I'm not going to get super far into that. Maybe I'll do a Baby Driver review sometime, and I will, but all I'm going to say is that this is one of my favorite movies in recent years, and easily deserves this spot on this list. Rambo. We were introduced to the famous Vietnam War vet in First Blood. The way he's able to defend himself in the woods with next to nothing makes this movie so fun to watch. Like, how does he pull this crap off? It's a great 80s action flick that really actually kind of makes you feel for the main character, even while he's killing for survival. Even though this is Buster Keaton's most famous movie, it's not a movie I think most people have seen these days, and that's a shame. If you've never heard of Buster Keaton, think of Charlie Chaplin, but with more stunts. This movie is virtually non-stop action from beginning to end, featuring Buster Keaton's character in every single stunt you could possibly imagine involving a train. This movie is so fun and thrilling to watch even almost 100 years after its release. I highly recommend checking it out, guys. This one could be considered a horror movie, a sci-fi movie, but I'm calling it as an action movie. And could they really have cast anyone but Arnold? The plot? In the future, machines take over the world, but not without a resistance from humans, led by John Connor. Time travel has been invented, so the machines send back an assassin to kill John Connor's mother, Sarah Connor, but not before the humans can send back a protector for her. Such an awesome idea for a movie. I would already be sold. But what makes this movie stand out is how the Terminator is such an unstoppable force. He never needs to sleep or eat. He is just constantly on the hunt for Sarah Connor. And the odds are always against her. She only has herself and a human protecting her against this Terminator. This just adds tension to the already insane action sequences that are in the movie. And I'm not going to say much, but the ending is quite the nail-biter. Gladiator. I loved this movie from the instant I saw it. Such an epic story of a man who had everything taken from him, who decides to take revenge on the one who ruined his life. We get some awesome fight sequences in the Colosseum, some amazing CGI work, and it's all edited brilliantly. To top it all off, I think this is Russell Crowe's best performance. Another movie that can be considered both a sci-fi and a horror movie. I do believe Aliens is most easily defined as an action film, though. Similar to The Terminator, it features a character protecting a more vulnerable character against an almost unstoppable force. In this case, the aliens, which are absolutely horrifying creatures. But in this sequel, you're introduced to the mother alien, which is even more terrifying. It's a non-stop fight between Sigourney Weaver's character Ripley and the aliens, and I promise it'll have you on the edge of your seat all the way up until the end of the movie. This one is just as much horror, just as much sci-fi, but a whole lot more action than its predecessor. In this sequel, humans have captured a Terminator and sent him back to protect John Connor as a kid, while the machines send back a newer model to kill him. This one just ups the ante on everything the first one did, and leave it to James Cameron to give us some revolutionary special effects to marvel at even 27 years later. This Terminator is practically indestructible, so you can imagine how difficult it is for the main characters to kill him, and in turn the action sequences that this sets up. It involves a great subplot with breaking Sarah Connor out of a mental institution and stopping Judgment Day.
Next level.
You can argue with me that The Matrix is more of a sci-fi movie, and I wouldn't really argue back with you. But I just feel it falls under the action category so much more because of how revolutionary it was for action movies in general. Yes, we do get one of the most original mind and spoon-bending plots of all time. But we remember this movie for the absolutely insane action sequences it delivers, with Neo fighting the awesome villain Agent Smith with bullet time, and some shootouts that would be just outright impossible in our world today. And that's what put this movie at number 1 for me. The Wachowskis thought completely outside the box when it comes to filming action sequences, and like what they could even do with it. And they pulled it off wonderfully. Well guys, that's my top 10 best action movies of all time. I'm sure it's destined to be pretty controversial, so let me know what your top 10 are in the comments below. I'd love to see what they are. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you for my next review.
Next level.